So, hi, welcome to this interview. I'm really excited about interviewing you, Agnieszka Laskus, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say and what you have to say in answer to my questions. So, I am doing this series of interviews with visual artists who want to sell art online and who want to find their art buyers online. And so, we're going to talk about the process of finding your buyers and selling. Before I ask questions that are related to this topic, the first thing that I wanted to ask you, Agnieszka, is can you introduce yourself and explain what you do? And I can see two beautiful paintings in the background, so that will help to explain as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Gavriella, for inviting me to present. I'm really excited to be here. So my name is Agnieszka Laskus, originally from Poland. I live in the UK. My artistic name is Agnilas. I shortened it so that people can actually find me easier on on Instagram. I will give you the details later, but Agnilas is super easy. Agni in Hindu stands for fire. So Agni and Las in Polish is woodland. So it's bringing those two elements that I very much love. And I am a fine art, Agnilas, I am a fine art photographer, so like it looks like painting, but this is photography. And it's so absolutely fine. I have been into photography since I was a little girl. I started when I was 11, and I've very much followed in my father's footsteps, who had all the darkroom equipment, and I was just learning since I was a child. And it was black and white photography to start with. So I spent a lot of time in the darkroom playing with chemicals, and my early theme was nature, very much nature and trees. So I went into different locations and loved trees. And it's still very much, my very big passion, the trees, but I kind of moved through different themes as a photographer since then. So my early days of photography was very much like traditional, classical, analog photography, black and white.
Yes.
And that was my early days in Poland. And then when I started to travel, I moved to the UK, and I sensed that my doors very much open, and I was able to travel to different locations in the world. Right. And it really inspired me to shift from just black and white to explore color.
Okay. All right.
And that was very much inspired my trip to India, which is like, you can't do just black and white there.
Yes, it's not possible anymore.
Life. And so that my theme then was people and photojournalism, and then I continued journeying with the photography. I did some events. I got into tango when I ended up in Buenos Aires in Argentina. So I was photographing dancers, so movement photography. So it's like, I feel like I've touched on every possible theme. Mm-hmm. And then I had like a little crisis with regard to like balance in my life, because I was also in a very different mainstream career. So like I was doing photography as a passion, as a like side jobs, you could say. I taught photography in the States as well. So it was like project-based exploration of art. And then I was guided, because I meditate as well. So that's like, my art is my spiritual practice as well. I was guided to leave my job.
Wow.
And I was also guided to do more of what I'm doing now, like do more of my art. And I was like, this is some kind of a joke of a guide.
Yes.
How am I going to live? Hello. But it wasn't even like, it was serious, because I started to have accidents at work.
Right.
And it was one.
Right.
Second, and the third one left me. I couldn't move.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I thought, okay, this is serious. I'm supposed to do this. And okay then.
Right.
And then I just immersed myself. It was incredible. Like this deep knowing that this is what you want to do and this is what you're meant to do. Once you take that step, all the doors open. And it was crazy, because applied for a few competitions here and there, and I won quite a few of them. So it built up my confidence, and also it was a beautiful start to get myself into art. First, thanks to winning some of the competitions, I was seen as, okay, I've got something, like some experience already. So it was like little building blocks, but I felt that the whole universe is like, has my back. And then COVID came, and I had like a few exhibitions lined up in Italy and like Austria, and there's like closure, one in London as well. And I thought, like, what? Hello, how are we supposed to do it?
So have you found a way to make kind of the most of it though? Have you used that time? How have you used that time?
So yeah, from my early contacts that I've made through like live exposure, I just met quite a few artists, and I think it was beautiful, so valuable, you know, that human contact. And we kind of fed into the group, and anyone who would hear of any opportunities, we would share that.
Right. Yes.
And even like try to like do events together. So it was like a little platform that offers yet another like stepping stone to the next opportunity. So for example, I was invited by one friend to do like an event in Oxo exhibition center. And then from there, I met another person. Then they were like a curator.
I love how this works. Yes.
And then I ended up doing an exhibition like in Bethnal Green in London. Now she's in Brazil, so I'm going to have an exhibition in Brazil.
Wow.
You know, it's like turn up and be present.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good.
So this worked, but I know what you're asking me about this, like, what do you do when everything is shut? Like, of course, I took it all online.
Yes.
I was just trying to be as visible as possible on Instagram, and I've built my website. So I was trying against, you know, the odds to keep the momentum up, even though it was really difficult. And then there was the artist support pledge. I took part in that. So like showing that we are in it together as artists, and like I bought someone's work, people bought my work. So through those most difficult times, like we didn't stop. I didn't stop. I was always out there trying to create, and I was doing it. You asked me what's easy and what's difficult. One thing that is easy is to create. Like no matter what happens in this crazy world at the moment, I just get my camera and get myself out, because that is my studio is out there, spending a lot of time with water and nature. Yeah.
Let's get to this question in a second. That's really, really interesting. Just before we get there, I just wanted to ask you about, so one thing about your practice though is that I totally got tricked into the fact that I thought that these artworks in the back were actually paintings while they are photographs. And one of the reasons I saw that is that they are put on how do you call on an easel? Yes. So is there a reason for that?
Yeah, practical easel and aesthetic reason and all the rest.
Yeah, no, but it's funny. It's a great way.
Because I travel to different events with them, and some like when it's in a gallery, I just put it nicely on a wall, and it's easy. But sometimes it's more like an art trail or an art fair that doesn't have those facilities. So I've got all the equipment to be
very good,
portable, and then to display my work.
But I also love that you have put them in the back, because it really shows the way you went from black and white to color as well. Even if that, I don't know if that corresponds to the chronology, but that really shows this aspect. So thank you so much for explaining all of this. This is so interesting. So I want to get on my next question, which is about, so we'll get to the part about what is easy, and I definitely want to learn more about this. But before we get there, what I want to know is so when it comes to selling your artworks online, what has been actually difficult? What have you found a struggle?
So I'll be very honest with you. I think it's just building the trust, it takes time.
Yeah.
So I have sold online, but it was mainly through my visibility in the real world. And then people kind of went on and then checked more of my work, and we've been in dialogue. And
Right.
honestly, it could go for months on end.
Yeah.
We are developing friendship, and
Right.
why am I doing here? Is this person interested in my work, or interested in or both, or what? But I am friendly, and I've got this just genuine curiosity, an interest in humans. So like they opened that dialogue with me, which started at a live event. Very important for me, like just to be open and friendly with everyone, in children, even if you like look at someone, oh, they will never buy your work, be friendly with them.
Doesn't matter,
because you never know. And this is what happened to me. This person came to one event and they came to another one, so I knew, okay, they like my art, they like what I'm talking about when presenting my art too, because that is also very important to me. And then they kept coming back, and then we connected. Yeah, we were communicating through email a lot. And then my website was important because he went on and he checked more work that I have. So it wasn't available at a live event, and he chose something different. So yeah, definitely it supported the sale and is important. But my journey is like frequently that I use my online platforms to like further establish what I'm doing, and I say, okay, it's more than what I'm just showing here at an event. And I've had quite a few clients coming through my like real life exposure, if you
So because you had this experience actually of building relationships, and that sometimes it can take months and months and months, actually, what would be one lesson that you have learned from this and that you could share with artists listening to this interview? So what could be one tip that you have in order to bring this relationship to the sale? Or is there anything that you could advise on this?
Yeah, like probably just to be genuine and speak about your work with love and passion.
Yes.
And like just forget about the fact that you are selling in the first place.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
I am presenting you something that I create and I love, and it comes through for people to enjoy, you know?
Yeah.
And even the fact that, okay, they get enjoyment out of this fact that they hear you talk about it, they can see it, that's already like you're enriching them.
Yeah.
And then there will definitely be people who love you. There will be people who feel neutral or like dislike, but there will be people that love you. It's like with anything in life. So just keep going and like keep presenting yourself with passion, and you definitely find
I love what you're saying.
Resonate with it.
I love what you're saying. It's like, don't focus on the action of selling or on convincing people. Focus on the fact that you just love what you're creating and that you're convinced about what you are doing. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. And that's the thing we should focus on, because if we're convinced about what we create, what we put out in the world, then the confidence is going to be, it's going to be easier to be confident to talk about what you create as well, probably.
Definitely, it's about that attitude, because if you are overselling, like people get put off by it. But if you are just stepping into your beautiful radiance and like showing your work, like people want it, like you are doing them a favor.
Yeah, absolutely.
They want to have your work.
Yeah, exactly. This is really well said. So, okay, so thank you so much for sharing that. So my next question is something you have already started to share about, so I definitely want to hear more. So what is one thing that you absolutely enjoy about selling, so the process of selling the artworks? And you started talking about the actual creation of the artworks.
So yeah, I enjoy a lot of aspects of the whole process. I think like my favorite ever is just to be out there, and just because that theme that you see, it's abstract photography of water. So I go to sacred water locations and I just love spending time with nature and then capturing like that moment that is very special. So this, honestly, like even if I was paid nothing, I would still be doing it. I'm still gonna do it today. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. It nourishes me, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Is it a moment where you are alone, or is it a moment where you meet other human beings? How does
it's both. It's
Okay.
both. Definitely, frequently I go alone by myself, and it's amazing. And frequently it's with others too.
Okay.
People who love water like me, nature, and sometimes people who just enjoy it, and then they get super frustrated with me, like
Right.
standing by the water for
Yeah.
hours. Like, can we move on now? Yeah, so it's both. It's both, but I enjoy both moments of encounter, like just me being in nature by myself and also with others. It's also fun. It becomes something, a different experience as well. So yeah, that process. And frequently I go into water, so it's like another dimension as well. Like throughout winter I would just go in and then just be very close to it. So yeah, these are very special pieces. They are actually, they've got very special resonance. It's like uplifting, healing resonance that like I love having my art around because it makes me feel better right away, instantaneously. And I've heard from people who actually have these pieces that they receive this kind of harmonious effect, you know.
So absolutely. So I love also, I see some of your posts on Facebook, and I love how you're sharing a little bit of what you see in nature sometimes. And so do you think that you take people with you? You take people on the journey of being in nature sometimes, or is it rather private? But I mean, people who follow you online, do you try and bring them on the journey?
Very much so. And because I'm quite connected to nature, and like magical things happen when I go out. Even sometimes I feel, okay, it's getting dark, I really need to go to the forest. I need to go. I'm going.
I remember the picture with the deers.
Yes.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And they came back.
Right. And this was such a blessing. And I thought, I knew why I had to go to the forest at this time. It's to capture this and share this. And I know it's going to really shift many people. Like, just there's so many bad news around.
It stayed with me. See, funny.
Bring the beauty and magic, and you know, the change and shift, the deer going and coming back, and it's like chaotic but beautiful. It's like human condition, you know. Sometimes we change direction out of the blue like this. So messages from nature are very much part of what I'm after. It's like I'm always like alert and fine-tuned, like what's coming and what gifts are coming, just not for me. Like I love sharing them, you know, as well. That's why I post.
This is great. I love this. It's really inspiring. And something I find funny as well is that you just like get the feeling, I need to go to get in nature now. It's dark outside and I know I'm going to see something magical. While the only time I could see kind of deers really in the forest and things like that is when I'm driving, you know, and I'm always looking for them and saying like maybe today, and I never find any. So, and you just get out there and you see them come and come back. So that's
so many of them that never happen.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's like trust. This little thing that we've just mentioned, that trust. When you get guided, do it. Just really follow that, because that is the inner knowing that is beyond our intellect. It's the inner guidance that will help you with business, with your art, with anything in life.
That's what I love about what you're saying, because all of what you're saying, you're talking about spirituality so much, but it's all impacting your actual life, and that's your actual life, that's spiritual, and that's impacting things that for another person who could feel less spiritual than you is also going through, but you are living it your way and it's working for you, and you feel great about this, and there is there is no need to change it, to a less spiritual version. It just works for you because it's you and it's specific to you. And I find it really inspiring that we don't have to run a business. We don't have to sell. We don't have to do anything in a way that doesn't fit us. We have to do it listening to ourselves.
Definitely. And I was sharing this because I would like to encourage anyone who's doubting, I've got this like quirky thing about me, no one's gonna like me, like I'm not gonna talk about this aspect of me because they'll think I'm weird. I'm telling you, you're gonna just find the right people who are like you. I found a curator of a gallery who is into spirituality. She loves me, and honestly, like, it's mutual connection on that level. And maybe I'm not going to make it as explicit, but we are collaborating because of that spiritual connection that we made in the first place. So whatever your thing is, it doesn't need to be spirituality. It could be any other thing that you are at the moment hiding. Stop hiding it, because this is your jewels, this is your treasure. People want different. People who are like you will gravitate towards you, and they will honestly honor the fact that you're genuine, real, and they found you. So come out of the closet with all of this, honestly.
It's so interesting because I asked this very question to someone else, and I said, I think I never fit anywhere, and I don't fit in groups of people. And even though I enjoy the community and everything, I never entirely fit. And I feel like I'm too weird. And she said, well, let the freak fly. And that stayed with me. And so, yeah.
Honestly, I resonate with this. And people, especially people who maybe transit from one career into doing arts, I know there's so many of us. I had so much anxiety about like doing the spiritual and the art, because I've got so many like professional friends who are into consultancy and all different fields.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They will just think I'm one nutcase. And to be honest, these very people I was dreading to like show myself to, they responded with loves and likes. And
so
like,
interesting. Okay, so interesting. Yeah. When you think some people are going to actually push you away, exactly. Actually there might be the ones who are inspired.
And actually, I would just add to that one person that comes like from this professional field, she also was going through a transition from that into the world of art. So it was like spot on.
Wow, incredible. You must have inspired her so much. I mean, you are like the person she wants to be. So that's really inspiring.
I believe it's all meant to be, and we're in one big network, and like I am inspired by someone. If I can inspire someone back, it's amazing, you know.
Absolutely.
It's like, we keep going. Cool.
Well, that was actually very, very inspiring. So thank you so much for sharing all of these insights, all of this experience of life as well. That's really insightful. And yes, and sharing all of these ideas about how you can just trust yourself and trust who you are. So thank you so much for this. So that's going to be the end of the interview. But before we actually completely finish it, can you tell us where we can find you so we keep being inspired by you?
Oh, thank you. So I'm on Instagram. So it's Agni, AGNI_LAS.
Right.
So that's the easiest way. And then my website is equally easy. It's www.agnilas.com. AGNILAS. And then Facebook is a mixed bag. I have a separate page for art and my spiritual work. So again, like wherever you go for Agni Las, you will find me. So probably website and Instagram are the best bets.
I will put the links under on YouTube. I will put both links, and I will tag you on Instagram as well, so people can just find the tag and click there. So thank you so much, Agnieszka. I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate your answers. That was really insightful. So I hope you have a great day, and thank you so much for joining me for this interview.
Yeah, thank you, Gavriella. Really a pleasure to be here. And
Perfect.